What's up, everybody? This is Brad, and I would like to direct your attention to something that people really haven't been talking about. And I can understand why, because it's a little bit of a addition to the original leak about MultiVersus. So, a second part to this leak originally was added that suggested that MultiVersus was not the only platform fighting game with crossover IPs in the works. So let's look at this right here. From the original leak from the Reddit thread about it, this isn't the only one in active development, and those at the time thought it was NetherRealm was developing MultiVersus. Warner have known this for a while now. It's an open secret in the industry that after the success of Smash Ultimate, combined with Nintendo's complete tone deafness towards their audience and player base, a lot of Western studios have begun to capitalize on the opportunity to make their own platform fighter that doesn't treat their player base and competitive players like shit. The numbers competitive Smash, especially Melee, pulls is not lost on the Western studios, and opportunity to take a slice of that pie is extremely apparent. NetherRealm isn't the last. I know of at least two others with major IP that are developing others, all based off Melee's speed and depth. NetherRealm I just have the most info on because, well, I won't say any more so I don't get fired. But there's at least one other that, as a studio, is significantly bigger than us, and you already know a little about it. All I'll say on that, because I don't have much info. So, what that means is that we'll have 5 big platform fighter games at some point in the future, featuring major IPs. That's a big deal, and nobody's really talking about it because MultiVersus is the focus right now since that's been officially revealed and announced, and everybody's still trying to take that in. And Nick, All-Star Brawl is also trying to get people excited again for its game. They just started teasing the alternate costumes there with an image of SpongeBob in his Smitty Warp and Jaegerman Jensen hat. That's a classic episode of SpongeBob. Go watch that episode again, even if you've seen it 1,000 times like I have. But, yeah. There's supposed to be 2 more platform fighters out there. But what are they? Now, when I originally talked about the idea of MultiVersus and this leak, I put forth 2 ideas of what we could potentially see. The first one is not a long shot, but I'm not sure how likely it is. But I think it would be a good idea and maybe cool to see a revival of PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Now, yes, this game did not really hit the mark. I think a lot of people were disappointed in it, especially with the mechanic. I think it was, I didn't play this game, never played this game, but if I remember the criticism correctly, people did not like the fact that the only way to KO a fighter in this game is using your finisher move. You basically just fight endlessly until you hit your finisher. That's the only way to kill an opponent. And that does sound really bad. Having finishers is great and all, but if that's the only way you can finish your opponent off is by hitting that one particular move, it seems kind of weak. But I think that if you took the lessons from this game and you don't do things like add the version of Dante from Devil May Cry that people didn't like, and work on getting more characters that are iconic to PlayStation, make some deals, do what you gotta do, take all the top PlayStation selling games and get characters in there and make them fight, you could make this work. Like, one of the big PlayStation games was Spider-Man. Yes, Spider-Man belongs to Disney, or whoever has Spider-Man at the moment. The ownership of Spider-Man seems to be the most fought over IP that I can think of in any given situation, but get anybody who's relevant to PlayStation's history. This game did not have Crash Bandicoot, didn't have Spyro the Dragon, didn't have Cloud. So what are you doing? I think they did the best they could, and then I saw another thing that people said that they were mostly focused on releasing characters for upcoming games instead of iconic characters from their series history. So there are lots of things you could do. Like, I'm glad that Jak and Daxter were in this game. I mean, they did some things right, but again, you have your own big library of characters, or if you don't own them, make those deals happen. If they couldn't happen now, maybe they will now. If they couldn't happen then, maybe they will now, because of how popular Smash was. People made the case that if you took you could make a case that a portion of Smash's roster would actually perfectly blend into PlayStation Battle Royale here. Cloud, Sephiroth, Sora, Kingdom Hearts was originally exclusive to PlayStation systems. So, there you go. Tekken. The Dragon Quest protag could have been one. They were originally exclusive to PlayStation 2, at least from what I remember. Dragon Quest 8 was. It's not anymore, so that doesn't really apply. But I think that was one of the big games from the PlayStation 2. Reach out, do some, I don't know how popular the Digimon games were, but you could put some Digimon in there. Digimon's a lot like Pokemon in that the games actually came before the show. So, especially in the form of like the Tamagotchi pets were the original Digimon thing, and then Digimon World released before the Digimon Adventure anime did. So, I think that could work. But I think that's just one of the ideas for one of these platformer games, and a chance to reboot this game and start over and start fresh with new ideas, maybe even give people a subspace-like mode, which is something that Smash Ultimate did not give us, because I don't count the Road to Light or whatever that mode was from Ultimate to be a real story mode. But do something like that. Give us something and get a play style that people actually enjoy, and you could be very successful with a game like that. But another route this could go could be Disney stepping into a platform fighter game, because why wouldn't they? They already found out that one of their characters, or a character that they at least partially own, was the most requested character for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in Sora. Kingdom Hearts already is a giant crossover between their various Disney properties and Final Fantasy, and even The World Ends With You ended up in one of the games. So, they already know that this is something that people like, and there's multiple games out there featuring Disney characters crossover. Does anybody play Disney Infinity with those little amiibo-like figures? I actually thought that, despite the fact that the game didn't really give you very much to do, it was basically giving you an empty box land to play in, though some of the characters came with stories. But the idea was that you build your own game within the game, and you amuse yourself. You set your own rules. You can build racetracks or whatever, build buildings, put a few enemies in there to clobber, and then you have to replace them. The entire feature there was that toy box. You're literally plopped in the middle of an empty board, and you fill it up, and you play the way that you... Basically, it's meant to mimic you playing with dolls in real life, where you set everything up and then you play with whatever you want. And there were all sorts of characters from that series, from the Frozen characters to Marvel characters to the Disney's classics, Mickey Mouse, just so many characters from across their Star Wars even. So a series or a fighting game mixing all of their IPs would be really cool to see, and it would be pretty much like... It would be one of the upsides to the fact that Disney owns so much media. Because at this point, it's clearly not going to be possible to stop Disney from continually buying stuff and buying these characters and buying these shows. It's just not going to stop. So make the most of it and give people something that will make them happy. So, look, you could put all three of these characters in the game. Okay, Donald and Goofy didn't make it into Smash because they're not video game characters. Well, if you have a Disney-specific platform fighter, then they could be. You could put every single one of these characters in the game because they all are Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are all owned outright by Disney. Sora, Kairi, and Riku are partially owned by Disney. So, it could happen. On top of you throw in all the other characters, all the Marvel heroes, all the TV shows from through the years. There's some really iconic and classic cartoons from, say, the Disney afternoon shows that you really don't see much of anymore, mixed in with the modern shows that air on Disney now. And you could get a very cool roster with a lot of variety, which is all that a game like this would really need. So, yeah, I would be completely for a game like this from Disney. And there are plenty of Disney mobile games where they mix the characters up. The Mirrorverse game is one that's not out yet. It's supposed to be in the works. There's one that I think they recently started promoting called something like Melee Mash or something. Melee Mania, Disney Melee Mania, which is a MOBA game. But there are plenty of others that are similar to that too. And they know that the crossover appeal. I mean, House of Mouse was a show that mixed in all their characters. So, yeah. But my question for you guys is, which would you rather see? Would you rather see a rebooted PlayStation Battle Royale, PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale, or would you like to see a Disney platform fighter game? Which one do you think would have the better roster, maybe play better, or just have something in there that you think would appeal to you? Or are there other options for other kinds of games or other kinds of companies or collections of characters that you think would work better than PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale or a Disney platform fighter? Let me know. Leave a comment, like and subscribe, all that stuff. Go check out all my other videos, and we'll be talking a lot about this kind of thing going forward, because I'm going to talk a lot about MultiVersus, a lot about Nick Brawl, and a lot about what we might see out of games like this until we find out exactly what other two platform fighters are in the works. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, all that stuff before I repeat all myself again. And we will see you later.